Hey, and welcome back to Wild Mythology. I welcome you to the channel with bread and salt. For today's video, we're going to be covering 5 gods and goddesses of love and sex from mythology. But before we get to that, don't forget to join this month's mythology giveaway for Neil Gaiman's book on Norse mythology, an awesome 300-page book filled with the most famous myths, gods, and creatures from Norse mythology. All you have to do to join our giveaway is subscribe and leave a comment on this video. Plus, somewhere in this video is our mythology scavenger question. Answer the question correctly in the comments and you'll get an extra ballot for a chance to win the giveaway. So keep an eye or your ears out for that. Now, I think it's time for the love gods of mythology. Number 1. Aphrodite. As probably the most famous love goddess in all of mythology, Aphrodite is one of the 12 Olympians and is the goddess of love, beauty, and sex in Greek mythology. In mythology, Aphrodite is the final child of Uranus, the primordial god of the sky. When Uranus was defeated by his son Kronos, the king of the Titans, Kronos had sliced off his father's genitals and threw them across the world. The Sky Father's genitals landed in the sea, and as they began to sink, blood and semen mixed together into foam. A moment later, Aphrodite, the most beautiful goddess in all Greek mythology, emerged from the foam. After the war between the gods and the Titans, Aphrodite made her way to Olympus. Upon arriving, every god instantly fell in love with her, and she was quickly made a member of the Olympians. Seeing that the male gods would go to war with each other for Aphrodite's hand, Hera, the queen of the gods and the goddess of marriage, quickly declared that her ugly son Hephaestus would become Aphrodite's husband. While the other gods were disappointed, they all looked at Hephaestus's face, and all had the same thought. Better to have lost the love goddess than look like that. Unfortunately for Hephaestus, his new wife wasn't overjoyed about being married to him. Even after he crafted Aphrodite her famous girdle that increased her desiring allure. Not impressed with her lame husband, Aphrodite had many affairs and children with gods such as Hermes, Dionysus, and Poseidon. But it is without question that her favorite lover was Ares, the god of war. The affair with Ares continued without Hephaestus' knowledge until the sun titan Helios told him. Feeling betrayed, Hephaestus crafted an unbreakable golden net and used it to catch Aphrodite and Ares in the act. Hephaestus then invited all the gods to see what he had done, causing a great amount of humiliation for the love and war deities. Before Hephaestus freed them, he demanded that Aphrodite return all the gifts he made for her, and that Ares would compensate him with wagons of armor and treasure. Agreeing to his terms, the smith god freed Aphrodite and Ares. While Hephaestus was now free to pursue other relationships, Aphrodite continued to see Ares, and together the two had 6 children. The famous ones being Harmonia, the goddess of harmony, Deimos and Phobos, the gods of fear and panic, and in some versions Eros, the god of love. From there, Aphrodite appeared in many myths, such as the creation of Pandora, the death of the resurrector Asclepius, the race of Atalanta, and the story of Pygmalion and his statue. She also played an important role in the myth of Adonis, and was the mother of Aeneas, the ancestor to the founder and first king of Rome. But perhaps Aphrodite's most famous contribution in mythology has to deal with the Trojan War. In a crazy turn of events, Paris, a prince of Troy, had to decide who among Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite was the fairest goddess of all. All 3 goddesses tried to influence Paris's choice by offering him gifts. Hera promised him rulership over all of Asia and Europe. Athena promised him fame, wisdom, and unlimited glory in battle. And Aphrodite offered him the hand of the most beautiful mortal woman in the world. Deciding, Paris chose Aphrodite's gift, resulting in Paris marrying Helen. Unfortunately, Helen was already married to King Menelaus of Sparta. Furious that the Trojans had stolen his wife, King Menelaus went to his older brother, King Agamemnon, and together they called for the kings of Greece to join them in war. Aphrodite was overjoyed about the outcome. Not only was she declared the fairest goddess of all, but a great war was about to take place over a single woman. After all, all's fair in love and war. Number 2. Hathor. In Egyptian mythology, the main goddess of love, beauty, and sex is Hathor, who is also the goddess of music, dancing, and cows. Appearing as either a cow or a woman wearing a cow headdress with a sun disk on top of it, Hathor is one of the most important goddesses in Egyptian mythology and is associated with the ancient Egyptian conception of femininity. In mythology, Hathor was the daughter of the sun god Ra and the husband of Horus. Although Hathor was known to take many other lovers, she was also one of the eyes of Ra, goddesses that were the counterpart of the sun god Ra. As an eye of Ra, it was Hathor's responsibility to protect the sun god as he traveled across the sky from the servants of chaos and their master Apophis. During her time as an eye of Ra, Hathor's relationship with the sun god had many aspects. She was mother, sister, lover, and daughter to Ra. Because of the belief that the sun was born anew every dawn, Hathor was Ra's mother during the morning as he rised, his sister during the afternoon, and his lover during the evening as the sun was put to rest. One of the most important myths happening during her time as an Eye of Ra was when the sun god learned that humans were plotting to rebel against the gods. Furious that they would do so, Ra sent Hathor to destroy them. So Hathor transformed herself into Sekhmet, the warrior goddess of lions in Hathor's more violent form. Sadly, Sekhmet didn't stop after obliterating the rebellious humans. No, she went on to harm innocent humans all over the world. The next time Ra looked down on the world, he was horrified with what he saw. Having to stop her before she destroyed all the mortals, Ra and the other gods poured red beer across the sands of Egypt. Thinking she was drinking blood, Sekhmet drank the beer, resulting in her becoming drunk and transforming back into Hathor. Disgusted by her actions, Hathor gave up on being an Eye of Ra and ran away. Eventually, she was brought back, but her position as Eye was replaced by Bas, the goddess of cats. Number 3. Oshun. In Yoruba mythology, Oshun is the goddess of love, beauty, fertility, fresh water, and of the Oshun River in Nigeria. In the Yoruba religion, gods and goddesses are known as the Orisha. There are apparently 401 Orishas, and instead of living in the heavens, they enjoy living among the humans on earth. They were created by the supreme creator Olodumare, who split a piece of himself into 401 aspects, each with a different domain and personality. In mythology, Olodumare sent 16 male Orisha and Oshun down to the earth, tasking them to bring forth life. Unfortunately, the male deities wouldn't listen to Oshun when she made suggestions about life on earth. Tired of being ignored, Oshun told the 16 Orishas that they would all have to apologize and come find her when they failed. The male deities scoffed at her, but eventually Oshun's prophecy came to pass. The 16 male Orishas were unable to make lasting life without female influence, so they apologized to Oshun and asked her to help them. Happy to finally be included, Oshun brought life to the planet by summoning a tremendous amount of water. The water soaked into the earth, allowing life to spring up and grow. Many years later, when humans were well established, the 400 Orisha all met together and debated whether they should take orders from Olodumare any longer. The supreme deity was the only one living in the heavens, while the Orishas lived among the humans on earth. They decided that they should rule over themselves and not listen to a reclusive god any longer. Learning of their plan, Olodumare grew furious and decided to punish them. The supreme deity withheld the rains from falling to earth, causing the lakes and rivers to dry up. Seeing that the humans were suffering because of their plan, the Orishas tried to apologize to Olodumare, but he was high up in the heavens and so could not hear them. Hating that the humans were suffering, Oshun turned herself into a peacock and flew to the heavens. But the journey was long and taxing. By the time Oshun reached the supreme deity, she was no longer a beautiful peacock, but instead a hideous vulture on the verge of death. Impressed with her sacrifice, Olodumare healed the love goddess and allowed her to bring the rains back to earth. He also declared her his most favored Orisha and made her the divine messenger by gifting her the ability to travel instantly between the heavens and the earth. Hey, it's time for our mythology scavenger question. Here's the question. What is the name of the Egyptian god of the moon? Make sure to comment your answer so you can get an extra ballot to win this month's giveaway. Now, back to the gods of love. Number 4. Yue Lao. Yue Lao is a god of love and marriage in Chinese mythology. He is also known as the Old Man under the Moon because he only appears before people while bathed in moonlight. It is from Yue Lao and his myths that we get the idea of the red string of fate. In mythology, a young boy is walking through the city with his servants when he comes upon an old man reading a book in the moonlight. The boy stops and asks the old man what he is reading. The old man replies that he is reading about marriage of the future and who will marry who. He then gestures to his bag, telling the boy that inside are pieces of red string used for tying people together in marriage. A moment later, the old man and the boy notice a woman walking by carrying a 3-year-old girl. The old man then suddenly announces to the boy that someday that young girl will be the boy's wife. Not believing the old man, the boy tells his servants to stab the girl in the back. He then walks away without a care, leaving the disappointed old man. Years later, the boy grew up and married a woman with a large scar on her back. When he asked his wife what had happened, she told him that she had been stabbed as a child. Realizing that the old man had predicted exactly who his wife would be, he began to search for the old man so that he could find suitable matches for his own children. Eventually, he found him again and asked the old man to help him find matches for his children. The old man refused and revealed himself as Yue Lao. He told the young man that he had disgraced his destined match by having her stabbed and so wouldn't help him. Yue Lao then told the young man that his children would never find their destined matches and then disappeared in a flash of moonlight. Number 5. Rati. Rati is the goddess of love, lust, and pleasure in Hindu mythology. She is married to Kama, the Hindu god of love, and unlike in other mythologies, Rati is a unique love goddess in the fact that she doesn't stray from her husband. In mythology, Kama is created by Brahma, the Hindu god of creation. After coming into existence, Brahma orders Kama to start bringing love to the world with his flower arrows. Kama does so by first shooting Brahma and some of the other gods. Unfortunately, Kama had bad timing and shot them all at the same time, resulting in the deities to fall for the same goddess. Seeing Brahma and the other gods act like fools, Shiva, the god of destruction, laughed as he passed by. This caused them to be embarrassed and sweat heavily, and it was from the sweat of Daksha, the Hindu god of ritual, that Rati came to be. Seeing the beautiful goddess rise from the sweat, Kama instantly fell in love and made her his wife. But Kama had made a mistake by embarrassing Brahma. Angry at him, Brahma cursed Kama and told him that someday in the future he would be burnt to ashes. Unfortunately, that future comes to pass and Kama is burnt by Shiva. Horrified with her lover's death, Rati begs Shiva's wife, Parvati, to convince her husband to resurrect Kama. Parvati reassures Rati by telling her that Kama will be reincarnated and tells her where she'll be able to meet him in the future. Eventually, Kama is reincarnated as a boy named Pradyumna. Finding her reincarnated husband, Rati disguises herself as a mortal woman named Mayavati and takes and raises Pradyumna as her own child. When Pradyumna grows older, Mayavati begins to view him as her lover. She then tells him about his past life as a god, and the two get married once again. And there it is, I give you 5 gods and goddesses of love and sex. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would like us to cover something from mythology, folklore, or legend, make sure to leave a comment and we'll add it to our video list. Well, that's all for now. Until next time on Wild Mythology.